enough, because Scots deserve an NHS that is there when they need it. But under this SNP government, even our NHS staff can't get the treatment they need in time so they can get back to work and treat others. So what this has created is a doom loop of delays where everyone loses out. And the simple truth is that our NHS is not safe with the SNP, and no amount of warm words will cut it. The record shows they can't be trusted, because this is a government that has lost its way, is incompetent, and now admits that it has spent too long focusing on campaigning rather than governing. So why are NHS patients and staff being forced to pay the price of this SNP government's neglect?
First Minister.
Presiding Officer, there are challenges in the National Health Service, and there's not an occasion when I'm questioned on this subject that I don't accept that point. But there's also a couple of realities that have to be wrestled with. The first reality is the increased demand that is created as a consequence of the COVID pandemic. And our health service staff are working as hard as they possibly can do, and I admire them for all they're doing to try to deal with that situation. But the second is the financial context in which we are operating. And this government has taken some pretty difficult decisions to increase the money that's available to the National Health Service so that we can, for example, afford pay deals so that we avoid industrial action, which has been one of the elements of sustaining the National Health Service, which has been so important in Scotland, and I welcome the positive dialogue that has taken place. But of course the problem here is the perpetuation of austerity. And Mr Sarwar told me during the election campaign there would be no austerity under Labour. Now Mr Sarwar can try...
Let's hear the First Minister.
Mr Sarwar can make all the gesticulations he wants at me. Those were his words. No austerity under Labour, and we're getting austerity under the Labour Party as we speak. So my message to Mr Sarwar is if he wants to help the situation, he should say to his UK masters, end the austerity, because, as he well knows, all roads lead back to Westminster on NHS funding.